called upon to uphold the honor of our flag. As the years roll on, we too shall have finished our fight, shall be laid to rest, and our souls follow the long column to the realms above, as all-enfolding death, hour by hour, shall mark his reproofs. Comrades, let us so live that when the keeper of the eternal records has called our name for the last time, those we leave behind may say of us as we now say of our comrade, here lies all that is mortal of a true-hearted comrade, a fearless defender of his home and country. Chaplain, or no, correction, officers and officers, you will now perform the last duties of your station.
On behalf of the White Mountain area, Post 9907, veterans of foreign wars of the United States, I present this tribute as a symbol of our undying love for our comrade.
I would ask everyone, please turn off your telephones.
I place the symbol of purity upon the altar, and may each future generation emulate the unselfish devotion to duty of the lowliest of our comrades. We place this wreath as a last tribute of affection from his comrades in arms on the altar of our departed comrade, and crown his earthly dust with this symbol of victory.
On behalf of our glorious republic, for whose integrity our comrades of the veterans of foreign wars enlisted and served, we place this emblem of our country, a country whose arms are always open to shelter the oppressed.
Honor guard.
be seated. chaplain will give benediction.
Cover.
The Lord bless and keep us. The Lord make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. And may the Lord lift up his countenance upon us and give us his peace. And may the blessings of heaven be on all our comrades, where they are dispersed in the world. Amen.
At this time, I would like to call Donna Holloway to the podium to give the eulogy.
Okay, Gina handed this to me when she walked in the door, okay? And it starts off, I just want you to know this. Here's a little bit of information about my husband. No, my husband, okay? Her husband, who was an extraordinary patriot who never let anything hold him down. Mike enlisted in the Marines in August of 1966 and went to boot camp in Hamilton, California. The physical part of boot camp came easy from him, and he gained many skills for combat and learned you always stick with your brother in arms and never leave a Marine behind. Michael was part of the 3rd Division, 2nd Platoon, 9th Marine Regiment until there were so few Marines remaining that they had to join the 3rd Battalion, 9th Marine Regiment. In September 1966, Michael arrived in South Vietnam and headed to the Marine base called Con Thien. My husband will tell me what it says. Overlooking the DMZ. He was struck by a mine exploding underneath his transport vehicle. Mike received a Purple Heart for this wounds and returned to duty. Thanksgiving Day, 1967, Mike was on patrol as a squad leader when his sharp eyes and ears seen something move suspiciously. After warning other Marines to stand back, he took 3 more steps and went dark. Mike survived the blast, but at the cost of his both legs. At the age of 19, he quickly returned to the United States as a Lance Corporal Michael Ferguson, honorably medically retired as a Bronze Star recipient with Combat V with 4 Valor and 2 Purple Hearts. But that quiet did not last long, as he had 4 children: Michael Jr., deceased, Tim, Jim, and Joe. Mike found a passion in making things better for veterans. Mike helped commission the Vietnam Veterans Memorial for those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for country. Afterwards, he maintained an active role in the veteran community and played an even larger role in raising his boys, Jim and Joe. Whether it was working at the house or out in the yard or making projects, there was always something to be done. He taught them to fish, hunt, respect the land, taught them the value of hard work. He taught them not to give up and always persevere and to set goals and make it happen. Like when he wanted a fence put up at the home in Flat Rock, Illinois. He decided to keep the boys out of school for 2 days. Don't worry, they were A students. He commissioned them to digging post holes. Mike decided that they should return to school. The kids then returned home to find that their dad had recommissioned a neighbor and a tractor to the post hole diggers. The boys also learned the lesson of work smarter, not harder. He didn't stop with just helping fellow veterans and raising his boys. He became an active member of helping the youth in the community. He and the boys worked tirelessly, creating the Robinson Wrestling Club Ironman, where he acted as a head coach. His boys worked their ass off so they could see the proud smile and twinkle in his eyes, which he always had a twinkle in his eyes. A family friend of a wrestling pupil commented, now that's an M-A-N right there. After the boys graduated and began their own lives, he began investing more back to the veterans of community. During this time, Mike gained 7 grandchildren: George, Maria, Katrina, Leanne, Jacob, Caitlin, and a second grandchild named Katrina. Mike and Gina met in a post 10302 in Springfield, Illinois. They were married March 18, 2001. They moved to Arizona in 2002, bought a house in Apache Junction. Michael became the commander of the VFW Post 7968 and was a commander for 10 years. Yes, he had that post rocking, and some of you know. Michael did his best thinking while drinking a beer at the poolside at home. When his eyes started, his stump started drumming, you knew something was about to happen. Michael said to Gina, I want to know if you're okay with me going through the VFW chairs. Well, Gina said, yes, what took you so long, Marine? Michael had many proud accomplishments in his life, and here are a few. Purple Heart Chapter 2560, Arizona VFW Charities, AJ Veteran Center, Illinois Vietnam Memorial, as well as the countless other accomplishments. I am sure many of us out there are wishing, or I wish, you could have seen him more and called him more. But Mike was a low-maintenance friend. He didn't require much as far as the calls or visits, but was always there for a friend or family member. He was a husband that was and a true patriot. Charlie Birmingham, a big Marine, stated best, Michael Ferguson bleeds red, white, and blue. Well, Michael, we are here today to celebrate your life and drink a beer. We also know that you will be in the building at the Veterans Memorial in heaven. Mike, take it easy on Chester Pool. Your family needs to keep the legacy going, and you have big shoes to fill. Simplify, Marine. Hoorah! Always faithful, your wife, Gina. I only have one other thing to say. I was fortunate to be able to go down there with Gina and see Mike while he was going through what he was going through. The last time I got to see Mike, we walked in, started going through and all that. And he called Gina and he says, did you bring my double cheeseburger? I looked at Gina and I says, I'm gone. I'm going to get that double cheeseburger. I took off, I went and got him his double cheeseburger and his french fries and brought him back, and we sat outside the window while he sat inside while he ate his double cheeseburger. I was very fortunate to be able to get to see him. And I thank you, Gina, for letting me.
You're welcome.
At this time, I would like his sons to come forward.
This is what my notes look like, so bear with me. At first, I want to definitely say thank you to the Post and all his brothers in here that love him. This is a wonderful ceremony. It wasn't very religious, but when I asked him about religion, he said that there aren't any atheists in the foxholes he heard. So, I know you guys know the Mike Ferguson that took care of vets, that put other veterans in front of him. I'm just going to give you a couple examples of what it was like to be his son. In general, he was tough, he was kind, he was disciplined, he was a softy, he was loving, and he had huge hands. I know he only had He didn't talk about his feelings much. I know that one regret that he did have during his lifetime was our brother and sister, which is Mike Sr. and Kim, that we would have had a little bit closer relationship than we did. Every family has its problems, and I know that's one thing that he wish he could have got back. As a kid, if your dad is already disabled and doesn't have any legs when you grow up, that's normal. But when it came to things, you talk to other kids. When I first learned how to ride a bike in Decatur, so my dad taught me how to ride a bike. So I lived on a cul-de-sac, and there was a huge ramp down the front concrete driveway, okay? And he wasn't gonna be able to run alongside me and push me and teach me how to ride a bike. So he put me on the Schwinn and just pushed me. There I go. I go down the hill, across the road, almost hit the mailbox, crashed, and then I had probably a little bit of blood or whatever, and I rolled it back. And I said, Dad, I crashed. He's like, well, don't do that. But same thing would come to later on. We learn how to play baseball, and usually we beat each other up, throwing the ball over each other's head. But when Dad would come out there, he would try his best, and I'd throw a ball to him. If it went over his head, he'd be like, "Go get it." And then only Mike Ferguson would say, "I'm gonna introduce wrestling into Robinson High School and bring it to the forefront and try to teach kids how to wrestle without any legs." There was never the word "I can't" in his vocabulary. In fact, if you told him you couldn't, he'd try to figure out a way to make it happen. That's just the way he was. As far as words of advice, from the time I was real little, maybe barely able to walk, he gave me advice just about every day, or Joe every day. And it was usually, so I'm going to share it with you. It was, "Joe, go get me a beer." There you go. I did get to talk to him the day before he had surgery on a Friday, and it was difficult to talk to him. The hospitals are being difficult because of the COVID, and he was a little bit confused on some of the medicine he was on. I called him, and he actually answered. I'm like, "Dad." He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Hey, it's your son Jim." He's like, "Oh, hi." And I said, "How you doing?" He's like, "I don't know." He's like, "I've been in here for a long time." He's like, "I can't seem to get out of this MFR." Okay, so his spirit was fighting hard, but his body eventually was tired. He will be missed. So I'll tell him one last time, Semper Fi, and that we all love him.
I've been asked to do some introductions of people who are here today. You've already seen the Purple Heart and the Veterans Hall of Fame personnel. And I would like to thank the Marine Corps League for their presentation today. That's Pat Connell, and Phil Young. Ying. It's been a long time, Phil. Pittsburgh trip. There's a Roger Eli, past area commander, American Legion. Jude K, raise your hand. There we go. Special guests. We have the Department Commander of New Mexico, Cynthia Archuleta. Cynthia. Past Department Commanders, Joe Regan, Chris Koskevich, Greg Koskevich, Tom Judd. Past Department Presidents, Becky Kemp, Charlie, all our friends, and Sheila Eiler. State Chaplain Phil Erickson, State Surgeon Bill Scheffler, Advocate Mark Short, State Quartermaster Ruth Gazada, Senior Vice Commander Larry Williams, State Commander Jeffrey Eiler, State President Melody Jones, State Auxiliary President Gene Wood, National Counsel, Department Adjutant, and past Department Commander. With us Gunner Kent, past National Commander and past National Adjutant. And I will hold off on the final introduction because you will be the last person to speak. At this time, we wish to come forward and share with us in this celebration of Mike's life. Anyone? No one wishes to come forward? Get up here.
I really don't like these. I'll use it. I'm Bill Schaff. I'm the department surgeon. This will be real short. Me and Mike kind of share the same sense of humor. We love making fun of each other. And Pebbles is not here, one of our past commanders. She asked me a couple weeks ago to please sing her Man, I Feel Like a Woman. And I told her I would gladly do that if they raised $100 for their karaoke person. So that took about 3 minutes. And so I sang Man, I Feel Like a Woman for Pebbles. And Mike rolled on in the door as I was finishing that, and he said, "Good job, Lipstick." He was a good guy, and we're all going to miss him.
Make up your mind if you want me to. Billy, come on up here.
Mike Ferguson was my friend. I love Mike Ferguson. We did a lot of things together. He made me a better man. He got me really involved in the VFW. He got me involved in the military or the Purple Heart. He got me involved in everything. Mike Ferguson was the best man I've ever met. He never bitched. He never did anything. He always listened to me bitch. And he used to tell me, "Quit bitching, shut up, and get another beer for me." But Mike Ferguson, you might be gone here today, but you're in a place called heaven, and I know you're there. And you'll always be in everybody in this room's heart. God bless you, Marine. I'll always love you. And you take care, and we'll take care of Gina.
A lot of us knew Mike, and the thing was, I used to go to his house down at AJ and started tearing, he wanted the wall tore out. Well, between Mike, my wife, and Gina, we opened up that living room. And he was so proud of it. He turned around and started going, "Let's fix this, let's paint this." No. If Mike said he could do it, look out, he would get it done. Even if he, like his son said, he would bring somebody else in to do it. If he couldn't get it done, he'd make sure it got done. Guys, we're missing. And I don't know what William does. He was one of my best friends. Yeah. Gene, I'm done. I can't say anything else because I'm just liable to cry up here.
yourself, brother. Well, like everybody has said, Mike was a friend of the veterans. And like they said also, that if there was anything to be done, that Mike knew it could be done, he generally made it happen, or suggested ways for somebody else to get it done, and we would get it done. From the time that I got involved with the Veterans of Foreign Wars, Mike was always there saying, well, I'd like you to be doing this, I'd like you to be doing that. He made me his hospital chairman. That's where this shirt came from. I put it in the back of the closet. When I found out he passed, I said, I gotta find that shirt, because that's what I'm wearing. And then of course Jeff said, well, that's the uniform of the day. So we made it the uniform of the day. But anyway, he was a friend of the vet, he was my friend, and he will clearly be missed. So, and this, like Larry said, if I keep talking, I'll be in tears myself. So.
I'm Jeff Eiler, I'm the department commander for Veterans of Foreign Wars. I probably didn't know Mike as well as a lot of you. My introduction to Mike was a phone call. I'm saying, Jeff, I need you to do me. Well, what's that, Mike? I need you to take over as District 3 commander. I said, what are you talking about? I'm not ready for that. He goes, oh yeah, you are. You can do it. You can handle it. You'll have a lot of backup. So he pushed me from junior vice up to commander. Then those morons elected me 2 more times. Thanks, Mike. So, like everybody else, man, he means a lot to me. He got me where I'm at right now. Because he supported me when I made the decision to run for surgeon and writers. Him and Gina called me into the room at the hotel, and he gave me a large support pin and said, we support you in your run. And I can't thank him enough. I will miss him.
Is there anybody else who would like to speak? Rose Hoagland is our auxiliary president here at the post.
Michael, I haven't known Mike and Gina that long, but I remember going back a couple of years at convention when I met them. What a wonderful person he was. What a great time we had together. And on behalf of the auxiliary 9907, we wish you all the best and give you all our sympathies to your entire family. Thank you.
Is there anybody else that wishes to speak? If not, I will ask the chaplain to say a blessing for the food that we're about to have. And on behalf of VFW Post 9907, thank you all for coming.
I'm Trevor, and I hope you brought your appetite. Our Heavenly Father, we come to you in this moment because we believe that you are our God, and we are your people, and you are the creator and sustainer of life. We acknowledge that every good and perfect gift comes from above, and that all that we have comes from your divine, beneficent hand. We thank you for this food and ask for your blessing upon us as we partake. Teach us to be always mindful of your loving kindness and tender mercies, and protect us all in our travels. Amen.
I erred. This is not the end. At this time, I would like to call the Junior Vice Commander-in-Chief, Veterans of Foreign Wars, Jim Borland, to the microphone. Almost forgot, sorry.
It happens. On behalf of the National Organization, Hal Roach, Commander-in-Chief, and Fritz Mihalchik, our Senior Vice Commander-in-Chief, they send condolences to the family. Mike really touched a lot of hearts. You know, 13 years ago I met Mike. 13 years ago, and I was running for department surgeon, and so was he. I barely beat him. I remember walking up to Mike and saying, "Hey Mike, do it again. You're going to be a great leader. There's no doubt in my mind you're going to be a great leader." And he says, "You don't get it. G.D. Marine, a god darn Marine. Marines don't lose." He was very upset, and there was no doubt he was upset, but I just looked at him and I said, "Mike, you need to run again. You're a great leader." And it took quite a few years, Gina can tell you this, to convince himself to run again. He did.